we're going to begin talking about toppers because generally that's where people start. Not all the time, and there is no rhyme or reason as to where you should start. Start wherever it gets you excited. Whether you're watching a YouTube video and you're like, holy cow, I am blown away, and maybe it's a topper, and that's what really gets you excited, because your excitement is going to get you through the beginnings of your journey. Your excitement is going to be contagious. If you are excited, everyone else is going to be. And if they're not, your excitement is going to kind of be what your attitude is like. Well, I don't care. I'm excited about this. Sure. You need to ask yourself and to see, you know, what sort of hair loss do you have? What is it about your thinning hair that is really challenging right now? But you need to find out, you know, is that something you can go straight to wigs. There's no rules about that. But if you're looking more into toppers, you need to assess that a little closer. You definitely need to decide, do you have patches of hair loss that you definitely need to cover? Does your crown, is it so fine you can see the scalp and you can sort of see that all the way down to a certain area, and then you have fine, healthier hair there? Then you need to measure that. And it's like, I want more coverage all in that area. So you need to measure about an inch lower. So you've got some fine, it could be very fine, but it has to be healthy hair to clip into. You really have to know that you have healthy hair to clip your topper into, or it's going to do damage, and it's just not going to be a very good choice. But most of us may have very fine, thin hair, but we definitely have healthy hair that's strong enough to deal with that. So measure and give yourself about an inch after that thinness and that stuff that you really want to cover starts kind of going away, because you're going to want to clip into that healthy hair. So measure this way, measure that way, and that's going to give you a really great idea as to the coverage of the sort of cap that your topper is going to give you. And then you shop from there. So I'm going to show you sort of what I mean by this. First, I am going to kind of glance over and see what's going on over here. Okay, so Rebecca, she's sharing that she's buying a topper to have more hair and more fun as my hair grows out. That is another thing, you guys. Helper hair in any way. It doesn't have to be something that you necessarily need. It could be something that is an accessory, something that is fun. You can change up your wigs based on your mood, based on the hair color that you want, the length, the style, what's in trend, and you don't want to deal with doing that to your own hair. And that is 100% okay. I hate when I see comments about, why are you wearing wigs? You look like you don't need it. Oh, so what? It's what I love to do. And it breaks sort of that barrier that kind of goes with wearing wigs. And that's important. We need to break down that wall, you know, with wig wearing in general. So I don't like that either. You have every right. It's fun. Look at it as an accessory to finish off your look. Wonderful. Beautiful. I mean, there are just a myriad of different colors, fun fashion colors in both toppers and wigs. It's just a blast. Once you open yourself up to all of that and you're good with it, it's just so much fun. Here is a topper here. These are going to all be synthetic that I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to back up a little bit here. Okay, so this is a Jon Renau Topper. This is top notch, and it has amazing coverage. This is in shaded mocha. The first topper I ever purchased was a top notch in shaded praline. If you've watched any of my topper videos, you'll notice that I'm not really obsessed or concerned about really matching my hair with my topper to the point where I'm going to go to a hairdresser and have them match it. That is what you're supposed to do, honestly. Then you're not going to detect your topper at all. However, I don't do that. I generally try to look for a color, maybe in the rooting area, that will sort of pass off as my natural hair color. And that's what I do. So I do have quite a contrast when I wear blonde toppers. This one is a really great color in that I can get away with that because the brown in here, although a little warmer than my mousy brown, it blends pretty well, but yet I do have the highlights of some sort of darker, dirty blonde colors in here. It's really a nice choice. But I have shaded praline, which is quite blonde, and there's quite a contrast between the topper and my hair that may peek out here and there. But I actually like that look. I like the contrast. I think it works great. So you don't necessarily have to worry about matching your hair perfectly, because that can really hold you up. Really, you can get a little frozen with that too. It's like, how do I do this, especially online, trying to find something that will match my bio hair, my own hair really well? I don't know. I think you can get creative with that. You could even dye your hair if you don't want to go through all of that blonde highlighting stuff, sort of the root color of the majority of the colors you like, and then you've got yourself that contrast. I don't know. So this was my very first topper, and I love Top Notch. As for the length, this is pretty razored out, so even if your hair is a little longer than this, it will blend in, you know, pretty well. If that is the case, though, you might find that you will have to get a little closer to the all-over color if your hair is going to pop out quite a ways underneath the length of this. I wear this when my hair is nearly the same length, and, you know, that's kind of how I work that. So I think my hair is probably just a tinge longer, but I think I could get away with wearing this. I loved this because of the coverage. So look at the coverage on this. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, this is really an important piece to a topper. This is something that I have to have. You can find toppers that don't necessarily have monofilament, which is this here, but I do not own any. I have to have some form of monofilament, some sort of, now this can be different sort of material. There's French lacing that toppers will be made out of as well, but I need something that when I'm parting it, it will give me a realistic scalp appearance. After all, this topper it's got a job to do. Not only does it need to give me the coverage that I want and the fullness to give me more hair, it also, it's got to show that there's some real scalp under there to kind of pull off that, you know, look that we want. And so I have to have monofilament in my toppers. Most toppers do have monofilament. The other criteria, however, that I have to have is it has to be a little sparse, and you might be shocked at first, you know, like if you put your finger under here, this is a double monofilament, okay? This is double monofilament. This is nice. So you're not going to see my fingers as much as I think I have some over here that don't. You might panic even with wigs. You'll be, if it has that monofilament, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's really see-through. But that means the density is good. That means when you get it on your head, it's gonna have this really realistic density to it. So if you've ever seen wigs that it's got the monofilament or it's got some sort of monofilament part, but you can't really see it once it's parted because each strand, there's so many, that density is so much that you really still can't see a realistic scalp appearance. That I don't care for, because then you got to go in and feel like you have to tweeze out that part, and then the rest of it still has, it just doesn't work for me. So that is a big criteria. Double monofilament, what that means is there's double monofilament. It's gonna not itch so much. So if you are very fine up here, it's gonna be more comfortable of an experience sitting there against your head. So double monofilament is nice. It isn't, if you really don't have much hair up there, you're gonna find this is a lovely feature because it's so much softer than just a single monofilament. So Lovely coverage here. We have a good amount. I don't have the actual numbers or specifications. The other thing about this particular topper is look at this gorgeous crown. Look at it, gives you a really nice crown. Some top pieces you don't have that. So it goes right along the plane of your head, which is okay, but it doesn't give you sort of that really becoming feminine, almost sort of pretty profile. And this piece does that because it gives you also some wefts of hair back here. So you've got some wefts back here that give you some extra hair, and it's in such a way that when you put it on your head, it does give you a really nice crown. So this is a lovely one. I have not trimmed this one. You do get some light sort of layers, so it's not all one length, which is, I think, kind of the special quality too about this particular topper. So that's top notch. I'm going to go over to another one of my favorite toppers, and you're going to see the difference here with this. I wore this one in a recent video that I put out yesterday just to let y'all know about this particular live today. This is a Jon Renau. I think this is still shaded mocha. It could be shaded praline. But this is one of their easy part. This is the XL, and it's an HD fiber, so you can take some heat to this. This is the 12-inch. It comes in 18-inch. So if you have, you know, it's nice to have that option if you have longer hair. Again, this is single monofilament, so you can see my fingers back here. See that? You might look at that when you first get it and go, oh my gosh, there's not much hair up there. What the heck? But that gives you a really lovely natural density, and it really does make a difference. So don't get too freaked out about that. But this is a single monofilament, so it's not as soft. I don't have any issue with that. But if you don't have much hair at all, this might, I don't know, it might sort of itch you a little bit. Now look at the difference here. This is an XL, and what that means is that you get almost this pear shape. The non-XL version is just sort of a long oval. It does not have this extended area back here. This is the back of your head, sort of the crown, and this gives more coverage, and I love that. I want to get as much coverage as I can in the back and all through here, so I don't have to sort of stress too much about how it may not be blending well with my own hair, and so I love having that extra coverage. I'm going to show you how much extra coverage you can get from other toppers, different cap constructions. This is one of my favorites though. Gives me a very pretty, realistic, sleek look. Now, if you wear wigs and then you want to try toppers, if you're like me and you do like a lot of body, you lose that really with a topper because especially one like this, you get more of a sleek, close to the head sort of look. But I still appreciate that as well. Especially, I love wearing toppers if it's quite warm out and I still want to wear some hair, because you know you don't have hair all through here that's coming from a wig or you know the coverage. So the hair, I mean the wind can blow through back here. It's just much cooler. It's more comfortable. You know, you don't have a wig. You know, a wig, you're essentially wearing a full-on hat. So it's nice having an option like this. I love these. I love these toppers. They're great. Yes, this is Milan by Noriko in Creamy Toast R is the color. Look at this. Yes, this is quite a bit lighter than my own hair, but honestly, when you get this on, you don't really see your own hair that much at all. It's got that much coverage. So let's look at this cap. Okay, look at this. I mean, that's a lot. Still have that monofilament, single monofilament. You have some silicone here. This is so you could put some toupee or some wig tape here so it'll stick to something. there lies my quandary, is that, okay, we have clips here, which hit me right about here. I have no hair there. I mean, I do, but it's not, I can't clip anything into it to hold anything. So these two are worthless. These hit me in a way that just do nothing for me. And there's not a clip here. I do prefer a center clip. And there's not one here. And then you have the clips back here. Great. But the whole thing will go backward because I don't have anything to clip these with, and I don't have anything here. Now you can use wig tape, and then you could at least have something there, pull a little bit of your hair if you need to. But be aware that tape is tape. It is going to pull your own hair out if you have any when you take it off. But they do have sort of adhesive, what am I trying to say? Like, it will dissolve that adhesive. You can get it on a Q-tip and sort of very, work it through so it will dissolve that adhesive from the tape. And then you can carefully lift up the tape. I might try that one day because something like this, it needs that. You could technically, I think it would be a little tough because there is silicone here, but you could sew another clip here, possibly maybe glue a clip, not sure. You could possibly, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to put a clip further back because you're going to see it through the monofilament here. So, but this is an example of how much coverage you can get just from a topper. And Milan is crazy, crazy popular. This particular topper is a ton of people absolutely love this topper. So this is a belle tress. It is called, it doesn't really have a name, but it's called Lace Front Mono Top 14-inch. The color is Honey with Chai Latte, which is my favorite blonde in that line. I'm going to tell you that I thought this was going to give me the same amount of coverage as the top notch because look, it's very similar. It's got the extra sort of wefts back here. It does give a little bit of a lift here, but the density is quite a bit lower. So I don't have really the kind of coverage that I like back in the back of this wig. Topper, it's beautiful from the front, but it really doesn't give me the coverage that I like in the back. This is the one that I did that series on how I could remedy that because I loved it so much, and I do love this. And so I experimented with how to remedy that, and it does work pretty well. I won't get into it now. Maybe you could search for that if it's something that interests you, or I'll put that link when I'm done here down in the description box. But it's beautiful, though. It is a beautiful, gorgeous. It has a full lace front, which that's important if you really don't have any hair here and you would like to be able to explore toppers. Having a lace front is eliminating that. You will have the look of that hair growing right out of the front, and it's a beautiful option. You could even use a little bit of the It Stays adhesive right through there, which is what I do if I'm going to utilize that. And then just do it like you would your wig, and then it's not going anywhere, and then you can clip all the way around. This stuff is the reason I went on a wig journey. I wouldn't be here, honestly, talking about any of this if it wasn't for this stuff. I was having a heck of a time trying to figure out how I could secure my wigs, and this was a wonderful thing. Anyway, so I do use that if I'm wearing a lace front top piece, and it works great. So again, you would look at this and you'd be like, oh my gosh, there's just not a lot. It looks like it's shedded and it's not well made. It doesn't have enough hair. This is what gives it a realistic look. When you get this on, it's going to look wonderful. It really will. So there is that. So I feel like I've shown you, you can get coverage that's literally only about this big with the hair. If you really just are starting to thin around the part and you just need a little boost, a little something. They also, if it's just the crown, but you're okay here, they make pieces that are made to sort of lift the crown and just deal with that. There's so many options out there, and I really think there's something for everyone. There really, really is. Okay, so let me go over here now, guys. Okay, Karen. Hi, Karen. Thank you for your question here. She says, what topper would you recommend for someone with no hair in the front, thin hair in the crown, but hair in the back? Well, topper-wise, again, I think the lace front toppers are made for this very reason. You know, you can have that lace front, you can secure it, because securing it would be a little tricky in my head. Something like this adhesive. This is not glue. Okay, this was made for the skin. It was not made for wigs initially. It is made for the skin. It is water soluble, but that means that it is going to be it's going to be gentle. I particularly don't want actual glue with all of those chemicals on against my skin all day. I just don't find that something that I'm interested in. Whereas this is made for the skin. It's hypoallergenic. And this is a wonderful way to secure your lace front toppers. You don't necessarily put this directly on the lace, you know, but you'll just roll it right where your hairline is, and just for the very beginning of where, you know, the forehead is, not directly on the forehead, if that makes any sense. And then when you put your topper on, you'll go ahead and sort of secure that, hold it for about 10 or 12 seconds, press it down, get it where you want it first. Hold your topper, clip in the other clips, and again, just sort of press it down. Wait a bit before you decide to run anything through it or style it. And that lace is going to secure there, and you're going to feel very secure in that topper. It's just how I would prefer to do it. I have tried to, you know, sort of work with a lace front topper, and I did not feel secure. The first clips on the side of toppers generally don't do much for me, depending on exactly where they are. So for me, if there's not a clip in the very front, I just sort of take out the tiny little bit of hair I want left out, and then I bring up a little bit and back comb it really gently. Sometimes I'll do a little spray, and I'll secure my first clip right kind of in there. Makes it really secure. But lace front wigs, they don't have that clip, so I had to figure out a way where I could take advantage of that nice lace front and yet feel secure. Yeah, I would recommend a lace front topper. And they, again, as you could see, as for the coverage, they can come down pretty far. So you can have a good amount of coverage to where you almost really won't see your own hair at all. And so there's just a wide range of cap coverage that you get from toppers. Also, styling your topper. Yes, definitely feel fine about using some hairspray. Still try to get the fibers a little bit, you know, sort of off the cap and blend it into your own hair. That is another thing I noticed on here I forgot to mention, is one of the deciding factors on whether or not you will go topper or wig is the ease of use, if you will. Toppers, you do have to prep your own hair. You do have to match it to the texture of that topper. So, for instance, a lot of the toppers I wear are straight. So I have to straighten and smooth my own hair underneath it, you know, and I have to, or the little bits that do start popping out are going to be fuzzy, and it's just not going to be a good look. So you do have to do, and it doesn't take very long. Most of us may have very fine, thin hair, so honestly, straightening it is a breeze. But there is a little more that you have to do to prep your own hair, before you can get that topper on and have it looking pretty dang good. I just wanted to let you know. Now with a wig, pile that baby up, get it flat, do what you have to do to prep it, stick that wig on. Your hair could be dirty. You just don't want to deal with it. You may have to do something really quickly and you just want to get some hair on. Wigs are so great for that. You stick that baby on over your hair, do a little pulling out here and there and a little this and that, and bam, you're out the door and looking pretty dang good, like you spent an hour or two doing it. So wigs are fabulous for that. Thank you so much for showing up today. This is a near and dear topic to my heart. It has changed my life, finding this helper hair. It really has, in a wonderful, sort of really freeing, lovely way. I want nothing more than to share that joy with you guys and to let you know that your pain, you're feeling down in the dumps because it is hard, and you allow yourself to feel those feels because it's a real thing. But know that you can put that away. You do have some wonderful options. My channel is a wonderful resource for you, as are many others out there. See you soon, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Bye-bye.